what we're talking about today. We're talking about soul friends. We're talking about how important that they are in this spiritual journey, how they lift us, how they support us, and how, important that each and every one of us, it is that we have these soul friends in our life. Of course, I've been really blessed with a lot of soul friends in my life, but right now I got a really cool one. I'll tell you, that has lifted me through a million things. And when I first heard this song, that's what I thought about. I kind of, I cried a little bit yesterday as I listened to this and thought about it. And you know what, I think that if the two things that they do as soul friends is that they make you better. Think about the people in your life. They make you a better person. That's what soul friends do. And they bring out the best in you. Actually, I thought about this. I have friends that bring out the worst in me. And those are teachers, right? Usually it's not friends, they're family, okay? It's the family. And I have friends that bring out the best in me. And, you learn from all of them, right? You learn from the ones, from family too. But it's about being better on this journey and connecting with people. So when Ananda is an attendant of the Buddha, and when they were walking along one day, Ananda said, Buddha, hey Buddha, half the spiritual life revolves around spiritual friendship. And the Buddhist immediately corrected him and he said, oh no, Ananda, do not say this. Do not say that, because Ananda, spiritual friendship is not half of the spiritual life. It's the entire spiritual life. That's how important it is. We can't do spiritual without friends. We can't do life the right way without friendships. We need that connection. We need each other. And that's what this talk is about. It's about how we can be a soul friend and how we can find a soul friend. And it's how you can look at your friends as soul friends. So I got to thinking in my life, and I've been so lucky. I've had probably 2 or 3 really deep relationships with deep girlfriends in my life, and some men too. But there hasn't been anybody quite like Judy, quite like Judy in my life. And so I want to talk a little bit about that, because that really makes me think about what a soul friend is, because we're really connected at this soul level. And it started back when we were at Unity of Tustin. Many of you know that we were at Unity of Tustin, and that's where we met years and years ago. And we were both leaders, and we kind of headed up all of these different programs there. And I knew that I brought a lot of passion to what I did. I just loved it. I was so excited about putting the programs together and about, looking at these new ideas of what we could do and seeing how we could shift it and change it. And I met Judy. And it's funny because I used to get up in the middle of the night, right? Because I'd have all these ideas. Have you ever done this? I don't know, but you're so excited about something you can't sleep, and it goes over and over in your head, and you can't think about anything else but this. And so this whole time that I was there, I had all these great ideas of what we were going to do and do this and that. So I get up and I get on the computer, and this is like 3 a.m, and I'm writing this, ideas of what we're going to do. So one night I decided I would email Judy, and she'd get it in the morning, and would be able to, look at this program that we were going to do together. And I was kind of excited to talk to her about it because we were, working together. And all of a sudden I sent it to her, and within 10 minutes, here was an email back at 3 a.m. Okay, it was right then that I knew, that she had the same passion, that we had this passion for this program that we're working on. We found every night we're on the computer, back and forth, talking at 3 or 4 a.m. And I realized that she was as crazy as I was. Nobody else got up, And when I found out, there was so much, that I saw that this generous, awesome person. I thought about it, selfless, wise, non-judgmental, and she truly listened. She was like an awesome, awesome friend. And she didn't listen just with the ears, right? She listened with her heart. And that's how we kind of became soul friends, is that she started to listen. And I got to thinking how important that a friend that listens from the heart is. It could be a husband, it can be anybody in your life that cares about you, that loves you, that is on the path, that holds you to a higher standard, And we need those people in our life. Soul friends are probably one of the most important things that you can ever have. There's a word called anamkara. Judy mentioned it. Anamkara is from the Celtic tradition, and it's called soul friend. That's what it's friends of the heart. They're soul friends. And when you're on the journey with them, there isn't anything better than that. It means that you're truly understood for who you are. You don't put a mask on. There's no pretension. It's who you are in your humanity, your faults, everything that you are, you can be. And that person loves you. You can be truly understood for who you are. You know, because we all go on this journey and we all have problems, we all have stuff going on. A friend holds you to that. They love you no matter what, no matter what. And they listen from this incredible place within you. I love the advice of the Native American seers. Here's what they gave us. Speak only half as much as you listen. That's kind of a problem for a lot of us, isn't it? You know, a lot of us talk and talk and talk and we don't listen. You see, and the truth is that listening starts with listening to yourself, right? Being quiet and going within and seeing what you're feeling inside, what you're knowing inside. It's about listening to nature. It's about listening to what's going on with each and every one of us. And it's about being aware. See, it starts, if you want to really learn how to listen, you have to be aware of how you listen now. Think about that in your life, you know, how you listen to your family, to your friends, to your kids. Are you the one that talks all the time? Or do you step back and let another person talk? See, how you do it is important. And how you know how you do it is important. Because once you bring awareness to it and you see yourself butting in all the time, that's what I saw a lot. I butted in when somebody else was talking because I wanted to get my point across, right? And as I started to bring awareness to that and I started to see myself do that, everything started to shift a little bit more. It created a space where I could be a little more open and I could listen to somebody else. It's about developing a practice. Because that's what listening is. It's a sacred practice of opening your heart and being there for somebody else, for your friends, for your loved ones, for your family. It's about developing a practice because true listening requires practice. It requires practice of letting go of your point of view and letting go of your agenda when you listen to somebody else. You know, because most of the time we're preoccupied, you know, with all these thoughts that are in our head. I know that before we step into any kind of counseling or we sit with somebody, usually we have to go into some space within to let go of everything that's gone on before. Because if we don't do that, our head is filled with all of this stuff. And we're not clear enough to be able to listen from this place of just listening and not jumping in with advice. See, because the truth is that your mind can only hold one thing at a time. It's a law of physics, right? You can only hold one thing. And when you have something else on your mind and somebody else starts to talk, you're not really listening. You're not opening your heart to that person. And so that's what we're called to do, is to clear and to be open to each other and to hear. You know, sometimes we listen enough to form an opinion so that we can start talking. I think that's so important. Sometimes I sit in groups and I hear that. You know, it's like when somebody's talking, the next person wants to jump in because they've got their opinion of what they want to say. How important it is for us to step back and let someone finish what they have to say before that we can step in and just listen. You know, it's not even about giving advice. And so many of the times we want to give advice. And that's not really what we need to do. Sometimes it's important if they ask, but we don't need to do it. And sometimes I like this, that people are more interested in not appearing stupid than they are in actually listening. You ever hear that before? You know, you don't want to appear stupid, so you're forming an opinion of what you can say to that person, right? You're thinking about what you can say because you want to sound like you're smart. And that's not what it's about. It's about opening your heart and really listening. See, the truth is that we're action-oriented people. We want to do. And so when someone comes to us, we want to fix it, right? We want to help. My husband used to do that all the time. He'd like, I try to talk and just let, you know, my feelings come, and yet he'd jump in and just want to fix it. I said, I don't need you to fix it. I just want to hear it. I just want someone to listen and to hear me. And that's what soul friends do. They don't try to fix you. They just open their heart and they hear you. They hear you. Sometimes, you know, we think we know so much when it's about opening our heart to somebody else. And it's almost like you know their soul. You know their soul when you listen. I'll tell you, there is this healing power in being heard. That's how important it is. There's a healing power in feeling heard. In feeling heard. I'm thinking about the time when Judy and I went through ministerial school, and we went to Unity Village in Kansas City. And I can remember at that time we kind of knew each other, but we weren't really deeply connected yet. And it was through this conversation that we became, you know, really connected. And I don't even know if you remember it, but we were in this crazy little room, had these 2 little hard beds and stuff. And it was late at night, and we were talking, and I was going through, a ton of stuff with my husband at that time, who was in the process of dying. I didn't know it, but, a lot of stuff. So we kind of started talking about some of the classes we were doing, and we went through the day, and some of the homework and all this kind of stuff. And the reason I'm telling you this is because this is how this whole thing develops. It was small talk, right? Small talk. And a little bit of a layer would peel away, and then something else would bubble up. And then I would talk about something a little more personal. And then all of a sudden, a little more personal. And I thought about this last night of what happened there. And at first, it was a little bit painful. So think of in your life when you really want to share something. And it's really painful, and you don't even know you want to share this. I'm talking about the healing power now of being heard. But you want to share something. And it's hard because it hurts. And there's somebody there to encourage you to share in this quiet space. They're not trying to fix you. They're not trying to jump in. But they're just there to listen. So I start to share, and at first it's a little painful. And then it starts to become free, right? Because you're starting to share this devastation that you feel. And it comes a little bit free. And all of a sudden the tension in you starts to be released. Because you've shared some of this, something that nobody's ever known before. And you need to share it, and you want to share it, and somebody's there to listen. So all of a sudden, your muscles start to release, and you start to, clear a little bit of a pain that's in there. It was like knots. I was thinking about it last night. These knots that were melting, and then this life energy starts to flow through. And this took like all night as I'm beginning to share. And there was room for silent feelings, where Judy was there to recognize and honor what I was feeling. We heard. She heard me. She accepted me for who I am and all the stuff, because I didn't know people would like me after all this stuff. I didn't know how she would feel about me after it. And she was just quiet through the whole time. And she came over and hugged me and loved me through it. And so that's what I'm kind of talking about. The next night was her turn. and I thought Judy was the kind of person that had no problems. Because she seemed so calm, and she was so wonderful. And as we shared, I found out that she'd been going through a lot of things in her life too. And it was my turn to listen the next night. It bonded us more than anything ever has in our whole life. And I think from that night on, we were soul friends. And man, I'm so grateful. And that's what we do now. When there's things that we have within us, we have each other to share. Each other to be able to release whatever is going on. It brings something out in us. It brings it. I think it's what happens is that we all have God qualities in us. We have love, we have peace, we have wisdom, we have all of these things. But it's our friends, our soul friends, who see those things and help us develop them, right? So she helps me develop compassion and gratitude and generosity in my life. I help her develop some qualities, other qualities that she has. That's what soul friends do for each other. They help each other. They're there for each other. They're open. It's the most beautiful relationship that you can have. And it's awesome if you can have it with your husband. And I know some of you do. I think that's the most incredible relationship that there is. But there are people, if you don't have a husband, that you can. There's women friends and men friends that you can have it with, because those are the friends that are on the journey in spiritual growth. So as you listen to each other, your friendships get deeper and deeper and deeper, and it takes time sometimes. So I know that the Gospel of Thomas says, and it's always been one of my favorite sayings, and he says, if you bring forth that what is within you will save you. If you do not bring forth that which is within you, what is within you will destroy you. What he's saying is that we gotta have it. We gotta release. When you have stuff going on, you gotta have someone to share it with. It's gotta come to the light, and a soul friend is what we need. Adam Kara. So I'm gonna close with a prayer. It's a friendship prayer from the book that Judy talked about called Adam Kara. It says, may you be blessed with good friends. May you learn to be a good friend yourself. May you be able to journey to that place, your soul, where there is great love, warmth, feeling, and forgiveness. May this change you. May it transfigure that which is negative, distant, or cold in you. May you be brought into the real compassion, kinship, and affinity of belonging. May you treasure your friends. May you be good to them, and may they be good to you. May they bring you all the blessings, challenges, truth, and light that you need for your journey. And may you never be isolated. May you always be in the gentle nest of belonging with your Anam Hera. Thank you.